Hi, everybody. DJ Yoakley with you straight off the plane from Houston, Texas. Here, joined by the head coach, the man of the hour, Mr. Coach Dan Bertolini, whose YSU Penguins took a 2-1 series victory over the University of Houston. And the Cougars were ranked in the top 35 in the preseason polls. And, of course, now YSU, all eyes on you guys. Coach, how you feeling getting off that plane?
I mean, it was a great weekend for us. Just kind of getting over it and getting ready to go for this week. But I was really proud of our group, and it was a great win for our program.
So let's talk about the series win. A lot of it, you pointed right to your veterans. You got a lot of great veterans on this team, guys that have been through a lot with this YSU program. Talk about some of the guys that stood out to you this weekend.
Well, like I said, I think it's said before, it starts with pitching. So, I thought Collin did a great job on Friday, really set the tone, pitched a really great game for us. And, too bad he didn't get to reap the benefits of his pitching. But I thought he did a nice job. Our bullpen, I told them on Friday after the game, I know it didn't go as well as they'd liked, but I knew that we were going to have a great opportunity on Saturday and Sunday, and they came through with Joel and Chad and Dalton and Gary. Those guys are all been around here for a while, and they're veterans. And I thought obviously Colin Floyd had a great start. Really proud of him for his first time back. That was great. I mean, Jeff, I thought, started a big inning for us in that first game win. 2 outs, nobody on, two strike hit. Got a base hit to right field. Next thing you know, Blaze pops the ball up that they miscommunicate on. It drops. We score a run to tie the game, and then Steve comes up next and hits an inside the park home run. I mean, that inning all started because of some grit and some determination and some just that's a big growth for Jeff from where he was 2 years ago to now, just staying in it, staying in the at bat, and finding the way to get on base. So there was just a lot of guys that contributed really to our weekend.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we go into next, a team win. Baseball is a sport of individual matchups, but it took everybody that stepped onto that turf down in Houston to make those 2 wins come to fruition. What does that say about your team? You talked about the grit, the determination, easy for me to say. But when you look at it, at the end of the day, you are kind of the character of your team, and they kind of shadow everything you do. So what does it speak to of, being able to be down 4 runs in the 9th inning and come back and with no outs? I mean, the fantastic drama that ensued down in Houston. What do you see from a manager's perspective?
Well, we've talked, I really try to say this every time. Like, you never know when it's going to be your opportunity to win. Could be the 2nd inning, might be the most important inning of the game. Could be the 9th. I wasn't planning on being the 11th or 10th, but you just never know when that's going to be your opportunity to win a game. And, I was just so proud of our team. Just everyone was, locked in for every inning, and guys contribute off the bench, in the bullpen, wherever that may be. A couple guys got their first college starts and really stepped up. So, all around just team wins. I mean, I think we told Pad he was going to pinch hit about I can't remember who it was, swung at the first pitch and got a hit. He was up next. Like, hey, you're pinch hitting here. Didn't even have his batting gloves on yet. Got his batting gloves on, stood in the box, first pitch, ripped a single. Like, guys are just ready to compete when they get in the box. And I thought, that's why Sunday, Travis didn't have probably his best stuff. I'm sure, it was probably 2 pitches away from getting out of some jams. But that's why it's a pitching staff. Those guys stepped up. John Snyder and Bryce Warwick and, Joel coming in for his, 3rd appearance on the weekend. So just up and down the roster, like just a total team win.
Yeah, and that's what's incredible is the veterans are making a huge impact on these younger Penguins. And you talk about this young Guins squad. A lot of them made their mark this weekend, whether it was their first hit or a guy like Andre Good going, 3 hits on Sunday and all of them making an impact. Talk about these younger Penguins, the recruiting process for them, and the buy-in to the program.
Well, we knew we had a really talented group of young players and freshmen, and they just, they kind of bide their time a little bit. Turner started all 3 games for us. He did a nice job. I thought it was a tough matchup for him, left on left all weekend, and had some big hits, had a couple RBIs. Did a nice job for us. But obviously, the 2 guys that that really stood out were Andre Good and Braden O'Shaughnessy coming up. I mean, it just says a lot about where they are and how much confidence they have and how much confidence we as a staff have in them to get their first start and come up in the ninth inning. You know, no hesitation. There was no timidness. They got their pitch and they did some damage with it. I mean, Andre Good, the first pitch he saw was about a 400-foot home run. You know, just a really special day for those guys, and I thought it gives us a huge boost for our entire team to know that you can go really. You know, the depth of our roster is really large, so we can really go anywhere with our roster. And I'm just proud of those guys that they were able to step up. Andre's birthday was yesterday, so it was a pretty good birthday weekend for him. So I don't remember a time ever where you got two freshmen in the lineup going back to back, tie to pull us within one and then tie the game. Then Andre comes up and gets the game-winning hit. I mean, that's a great day. And
you've been around those guys a lot. Obviously, you're the head ball coach. What is the demeanor like? What is it? Is it just a swagger? Is it just a way they carry themselves that allows them to get in the box? And like you said, Andre, first pitch he sees in college baseball, knocks it to the moon.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's a great group of upperclassmen that have really brought them along. You know, one guy I didn't mention was Nick Caruso. You know, he comes in late in the game, blocks that ball, and throws that guy out in the I think that was the bottom of the ninth inning or 10th. I can't remember. They all
come together, right?
Yeah, it was one long weekend, but you know, it was a huge play for us. But those guys have really, you know, embraced our young guys, helped them along, gave them confidence, showed them how to do things the right way. But those guys are just tough, gritty kids. I mean, they you know, they just really want to be in the game. They want the ball. They have a lot of confidence in their skills. They've been great players their entire careers, and you know, they were just waiting for that opportunity. Not, you know, they don't complain. This group is tight. We have a really tight group of guys that you know, they don't care who gets the credit as long as we get the win.
Yeah, and that was the interesting part. I mean, you read the title there. Houston had a problem, and it was the Youngstown State baseball Penguins this weekend. You look at guys like Gary Clift, who played a big role. You talked about Nick Caruso. Everything he dropped down was the right call. So kudos to him. And being a catcher, that it gets overlooked a lot, but you look at the demeanor and the positivity and what a catcher possesses. You know, pitchers have to trust the catcher. That's a battery mate combination. So Nick did a great job, and he was psyched the entire weekend. But what was the biggest issue that you think YSU presented to Houston over the weekend? Was it a matchup problem? Was it just David versus Goliath? What did you feel it was for you guys?
Well, that's a good team on that side of in that dugout over there. I mean, they threw some great arms at us, a lot of lefties, which were tough because we have a lot of left-handed hitters. So it presented a pretty good problem for us. I just think, you know, our demeanor we stayed really focused the entire weekend. I think that was probably the biggest takeaway is that, you know, there was no panic there. You know, we expected to win, you know, and I don't know necessarily in the past that we've always expected to win. Our guys expected when we walked off onto the field that we were the better team, you know, and that's sort of got to be the mentality the entire season, no matter who we're playing. And you only get there by playing, you know, Georgia Tech and Louisville and Mississippi State and Florida State. Like, these guys have played in some really great environments. They've played tough. You know, we took our lumps against Louisville the first year. And then last year, you know, going into Mississippi State and playing tough, we were close in a couple of those games and Florida State. And I think that just at that point, you're like, all right, we can do this with anyone. And so that veteran group comes back this year and really set the tone. So, you know, I thought they did a really good job holding runners. We weren't able to steal many bases, and that was kind of our go-to. Is, you know, we like to steal some bases. They did a really nice job holding us, but we were able to lay down some bunts, especially late in that game. I thought changed the game. You know, we get 2 bunt hits in the 10 whatever inning that was, the 10th inning, and there was some panic by them, and we were able to win the game because of it. So the small ball and the grinding out of the at bats, you know, not being scared of, you know, being behind in the count and being down 6-2, and our bullpen. I think that was the difference. Yes. The bullpen was the difference. From day one, from game one, you know, we gave up some runs late, and I told them, like, you're going to be the difference this weekend. And they went, I can't remember how it was, 14 innings, only allowed 2 hits in the last 14 innings of relief appearance. So it doesn't get much better than that.
No, when you play 30 innings, for those of you at home, when you play 30 innings, they start to run together a little bit, especially in that short amount of time. We're here with Danny Bertolini, the YSU baseball coach. One of your players immediately gets recognized the day after the series. Collin Floyd, pitcher of the week in the Horizon League, a young man making his bounce back. A lot of people said last year if you had a guy like Collin Floyd in the rotation, things would have been different, and you're out there proving them absolutely correct. What is this Collin Floyd? Speak about his character and what he means to this baseball team.
I mean, you don't get much more of a high character kid than Collin. He just put his nose to the grindstone. It was unfortunate he got injured. He was having a great year in 2018. Probably would have been close to leading the Horizon League in strikeouts and had under a 4 ERA for us. So he was really our leader. And not having him last year, it's tough when you're injured. To be able to lead. He wasn't traveling every weekend. But nobody works harder. Nobody puts their body, in a better position to win. Takes care of himself. Taught other guys. He's brought other guys along with him on eating habits and working out habits and holding guys accountable. So you just had a feeling. I've seen the maturity and the growth from him when we first got here as a sophomore till now. But you knew the talent when he was the one that he pitched and got the win in the first game that we won as a staff here against Georgia Tech. So you knew that the stuff is in there and the capability of him being a special kind of pitcher was there. And, he kind of went through his struggles as a sophomore, really stepped up as a junior and then got hurt. But I'm just so proud of him. I know how much hard work and, how many 50% bullpens and, 50% breaking balls and wanting to get out of the mound and wanting to pitch and some setbacks and everything that went into it. I'm just really, really happy and really proud that he was able to come out and give us an opportunity to win on Saturday.
So congratulations to Collin, not only for the bounce back, but the way he bounced back and to put you guys in, like you said, the position to get the victory against Houston. Here's one of the ones that I'm excited about. We got to call those games. We were a little bit excited. Believe it or not, no energy drinks. No energy drinks. I laid off just because of you. But we flew the Y, we flew it high. One of the things I'm interested to know is how many people – I know my phone, Stevie's phone, blew up after that ball game. What does your phone look like after a game like that?
Yeah, I'm so blown away by the amount of people that are invested in our program, that that are watching the games, that are supporting us. I mean, our support is phenomenal. I mean, you saw it at the breakfast, but just so many text messages, words of encouragement. People that are invested in our program and really backing us, and we're so excited that we were able to get a win on Saturday, and then just after Sunday's victory, I couldn't get back to the amount of text messages that I had fast enough. I mean, they were just pouring in. So we appreciate that support, and just expect that hopefully, if you texted me this week, I'm expecting after every big series win, we're going to be getting those text messages, because expect some more to come, hopefully.
Well, and we'll get to that a little bit later about the Superstitions, but you talked about the words of encouragement. One of the beautiful things about baseball, and we all know it, everybody that played, is some of the trash talk that happens out there. You have had a front row for it as the third base coach. What were some of the best trash talk you heard all weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny. It's part of college baseball. They were kind of trash talking me a little bit, just being in the coach's box, and little jabs here and there. But they had some funny things to say. I don't know if I could repeat everything that they were saying coming out of their dugout, but that was the fun part. I thought they were just great college baseball games. It was a great environment. The guys had high energy. It felt like a conference weekend. It felt like any of those meaningful conference games. That's what it felt like between the two teams. There was some heated moments. There was some almost like a rivalry type game, but at the end of the day, both teams respect each other, and I got a lot of respect for their program and Coach Whitting, and I just there's just some funny things that come out of both dugouts throughout the course of the game. Sometimes you gotta rein it in a little bit, but I don't know if I can necessarily share everything that was being said.
Well, I will, because one of the ones that I got was when Jeff Whaler, we were sharing dinner after the game. I think it was Saturday night.
Yep.
And they kind of said Jeff Whaler was the tight shirt guy, so he walked up to the and they were giving all tight shirts, hey, tight shirt guy, stuff like that. And Jeff just kind of came back to Tim Gallo, the equipment manager, said, "You know what they're saying about me? They're saying I got a tight shirt." So I thought that was one of the best I heard. I'm sure you've heard some stuff that probably not suitable for this atmosphere, but you handled it well. And obviously, you took away the bigger part of the trash talk, which was the victories. And now we turn our attention to those guys down in Charleston, South Carolina. What are you up against this weekend against Charleston?
Well, they have a transfer, senior transfer pitcher that'll start on Friday, left-handed pitcher. Not that we haven't seen enough left-handers
right
coming through the mix, but then they'll start 2 freshmen on Saturday and Sunday. So I still think there's, they had a lot of turnover. They had a lot of seniors last year. I think they had 11 or 12 seniors last year. So they were, they won 36 games, I think, in the regular season last year. So it's a good program. They've been historically a top 40 program. Again, just very similar to Houston. They're going to be rich in tradition. They're going to play the game hard. They're going to be well coached. So like I said last week, it's about us and executing what we can do. Making sure that, I think we can probably cut down a little bit on some of our swings and misses. We need to continue to pitch at a high level and control the running game. I thought we did a fairly good job of that. And we like to get our running game going a little bit. Maybe we didn't have a lot of chances to kind of do some of the things we wanted, whether it was hit and run or some bunt stuff because of the way the score dictated. But hopefully we'll continue to improve on that. And we've got to have a good week of practice today and tomorrow before we fly out on Thursday.
Is it a concern that you kind of put yourself on the radar a little bit against these top 40 teams, like you just said, or are you just going to put your best against their best and see how it goes?
Every day in our group chat, on the weekend, they really bought into it. We're 0-0 going into this weekend. College of Charleston doesn't care what we did against Houston. That doesn't mean anything to them. So we're 0-0. We got a lot to prove. A lot of people didn't really think very highly of our program going into last weekend, and I'm sure you look at what we did last year. I'm sure that there's people that are looking at it like we don't have a chance. So we got a little bit of a chip on our shoulder and some stuff to prove. But it's 0-0. It's opening weekend. We're playing Friday night like it's game 1 of the season, and once that game's over, we move to Saturday, and that's game 1 of the season. That's Steve Springer. He's does a great job with hitters, and that's kind of his mentality is opening day every day. So we got to stay locked in and execute our game plan, and hopefully we'll continue to play good baseball.
Now with baseball, of course, there's talent, there is skill, and then there is, of course, superstition. You are a baseball player at heart through and through. So are you superstitious or maybe just a little stitious?
Well, I'd say when I was younger, when I was playing, I was pretty superstitious. I think at one point I was in like 7th grade. I ate cherry pie before a game and had like the best game of my career. I think I had 28 points in a 7th grade game. And I think I ate cherry pie for like 35 straight days. We won the championship in 7th grade. We went on to Pony League. We won the championship in Pony League. So I don't even look at cherry pie anymore. But so we just I used to be superstitious. Now it's just there's too many variables in baseball. I think the times change, the games change, everything's going on. The more you hang on to that stuff, you're just setting yourself up for failure. So I don't really have a lot of superstitions or do anything the same every day. I just I'm kind of go with the flow because I know that if you get too locked in on that and things change, then your whole day's messed up. So just kind of focus on each day individually.
All right, add-on question. Is there somebody on your staff, maybe a coach that's superstitious that you want to share any?
I don't think so. I really don't. I don't. If they are, I haven't noticed anything. If they're doing it, they're sneaking it because they don't want me to know, I guess. I don't know. I really, like I said, there's a lot going into this, whether it's, flight changes or fan change. If you get too locked in on your superstition, there's just too much stuff going on. So like I said, I don't think there's anything
Just a little stitious.
We're just a little stitious.
All right. And finally, I know that for myself, the number 31 means an awful lot to me, and I do it even after the life of baseball. I still keep it up. You were the number 6. Is there anything in there for you, that goes with it? Is it an identifier for you, or I mean, could you wear anybody's jersey on any given night?
No, I guess that's the one thing. I guess I would be a little stitious. I think number 6 has just been a number that I've had since I was 6 years old. That was the number I got when I started Pee Wee baseball. It was number 6 all the way. I think the only year I wasn't was one year in minor league baseball when I was 9 years old. I wore number 9 because that was Michael Jordan's number in the
Olympics. Yeah.
So I wore 9. Basketball, you can't wear 6, so I wore 23 because I was a Michael Jordan fan. But I think 2 years in college, I had to wear number 1. My first 2 years, and I did not hit well my first 2 years in college, and I changed to 6 and had a lot more success. So I guess after that, I was going to be number 6 all the way, no doubt.
See, so you are a little superstitious.
I said when I was a player, I was superstitious. I'm not
now.
I don't even wear my jersey that often now. I pretty much wear a BP top. Occasionally I'll wear them. I like the new grays. I wore that. I wore the red jersey on Sunday.
I was gonna say you rep the red jerseys, and Stevie and I kind of looked at each other.
It was 77 degrees.
It was warm. It was warm.
You can't wear anything long sleeve there. I gotta wear my jersey on Saturday or Sunday.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a big weekend. We're looking for another one this weekend against the College of Charleston. Ron Potesta will make his debut on YSN. We're excited for that. He'll be down there with you. And, of course, we're looking for 2 or 3 more big wins from this YSU program. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll start with 1. Always
start with 1.
All right,
keep the stitches going.
All right. I'll see you.